question.
Hello, Miss. I hope you're having a wonderful morning.
Good morning. My name is Dominic, and this is Ryan. And yeah,
Dominic, through the VR scenario, how did you feel? What was the scenario about? How was the experience with just the VR?
my experience was a new experience. I have never seen this before, so it was good to see it as I'm trying to go to that field. And yeah, so basically the scenario, there was four people involved. There was a female police officer, a male police officer, a husband and wife. So the scenario was basically the police officers got a call that there was loud noises in this home, so they went to go check on it. Once they knocked on the door, they heard loud voices from inside the home, and the husband and wife opened the door, and they were basically lying to the cops, and the cops wanted to make sure the wife was okay because she seemed scared. So they proceeded to go on inside the house and ask further questions. They separated both of them, and they got the husband's side, which he was obviously lying because he was saying like the girl needed to take her meds and things like that. While the wife, she got more comfortable with the female officer, and she started talking to her and telling her that the husband hurt her and choked her because he thought she was cheating on him, and that's how everything started. Oh, yeah. So Ryan, how did the officers try to make the victims feel safe and heard?
Well, the first male police officer that was talking to her, she was really he was trying to open up towards her, but she wasn't. I think it has to do a lot with gender to gender being a different gender.
Yeah.
But for when the female police officer wanted to talk to her, she really opened up. But the difference between the female and the male was the female sat down with her. She was asking questions. The female police officer, she wasn't trying to act like a police officer. She was trying to act like her friend. It was there for her. Rather than the male police officer was. He didn't seem very open towards her at all. She sat down. She asked him questions. She said like, "I'm there for you." And yeah, stuff like that. And it really opened up. It really helped with her mental illness and how the domestic violence continued with him.
Yep. Another way I would say that made her feel safe was separating both of them, because obviously you don't want to have the guy that's hurting you right beside you while you confess to the police officer. So I do think that was a big part of it too.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, throughout the video, obviously you could see like there was different tones, and like what tones do you feel or actions did the police officer use that allowed them to show empathy? Like what did they do?
Empathy. Well, the female officer, she was very understanding towards the wife. She said she had a very calm tone and understanding, and she said I'm here to help you. If you need protection, we can get you a lawyer. This was showing empathy to the girl, showing that she's there for her and she's willing to give her an opportunity to get out of this life, which is
and to get out of the situation that she's in.
To get at. Yep, exactly. So Ryan, in like your opinion, were these empathetic actions of bringing up the lawyer and protection, were these strategies effective?
Yes, they were. They're actually effective in many ways. But one of the ways they were effective is, as I said before, the female police officer did sit down. She said they were there for her. And before she brought up that she was there, she sat down with her, made sure everything was okay, brought that up. I think she also brought that up to make her feel comfortable. Yes, it was very effective because she did tell the situation. She did say, part of it where, he came home drunk, and she did not say that to the male police officer. She said that to the female police officer, where she brought up everything. So Dominic, what is the Canadian framework for trauma-informed responses?
So basically, this is the national guideline for the Canadian Association of Chief of Police, which is the CACP. And basically, it helps police understand and approach people with trauma by getting them into a safe space, understanding them, being respectful with their approach, and just talking to them and being supportive.
And teaching them.
Yeah, of course.
Now, can you give me an example of the key principles and the approach at all?
So the key principles I would say is, first of all, keep them safe. You always want to keep these people who have been through a lot, especially trauma. You want to keep them safe and give them their own choices. Don't make them feel cornered. Gotta give them their space, because you don't want them to lash out at you, especially with violence. There's a lot of violence in this scenario if it were to go down the wrong way, so you need to understand them and make them feel safe.
Yeah. And definitely breaking them up, making sure
Yes, 100%.
Just really understanding the situation, getting to know them, getting to know their perspective, if they're on medication, if they're not on medication, that could affect the situation a lot.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to be understanding on the environment and what is going on
in the whole situation.
Exactly.
Not just one.
Exactly. So Ryan, do you know what the 6 R's are? And can you give me a brief explanation in terms of the model?
I do. So first one is realize, second is recognize, third is rethink, fourth is response, fifth is reduce, and sixth is review. For the first one, it's the impact of trauma in the victim. Recognize is you have to know the signs, symptoms, and the impacts in individuals. Rethink is to rethink on how police officers should approach the victim and how trauma can be informed in the victim. A lot of trauma can be informed, sometimes it can be brought to past to here. The response, the police officer should always respond with the background knowledge of the trauma, reflect in the needs of the individuals. Sometimes the individuals can go a lot into the past, sometimes they can go through now.
Yeah, so basically just try to understand them and their background. Everyone has a different upbringing, so yeah.
Yeah. Reduce is to reduce the situation, do not escalate the situation at all, make them feel safe, do not harm them more, and approach them.
Basically just try and keep them safe and try to cause no more harm to them.
That's right.
And the last one?
And the last side is review. Always look at the background knowledge of procedures and practices when it comes to police officers when they respond to individuals.
So basically just look at what happened in the past in terms of how other police officers dealt with it, and look at their laws and procedures on how to do it so you can succeed.
100%. Dominic, how did the scenario make you feel while you were participating in this VR?
This scenario, well, firstly, it made me feel weird due to the fact that it's weird to be involved in this situation, especially be the middleman and just be in a house where 2 people are fighting. But another thing that made me feel happy because I felt joy when she opened up to the female officer and creating a way to apply justice and to take him to jail due to his actions. So Ryan, what did you learn about how you would deal with the situation in terms of the victim? Would you have changed anything?
I definitely would change. I would definitely change the final.
Keep going.
Okay, 3,
2, 1. Well, so Ryan, what did you learn about how to deal with the situation in the victim? Would you have done anything different?
I definitely would. As soon as the male police officer went up to the wife, he never asked her if she was okay or not. As a police officer, you should always ask if she's okay, if she's on any medication, make her feel welcome, make her feel okay. Don't make her feel pressured at all.
Yeah. Make them feel as comfortable as a friend, as you're talking to a friend, and that's what the female police officer did. She approached that scenario to the girl as a friend, so she just opened up to her.
100%.
Yeah.
Dominic, how might this experience change the way you act in the future regarding, maybe if you're a police officer or not?
The things I would do different in terms of the future is probably, I would say, because the male police officer talked to the wife first, I would say switch roles, because a girl to a girl, they feel like friends. They feel more open and safe. So I would say I would change that. But otherwise, I would have done everything the same.
Because you probably feel more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Made her feel more comfortable and safe. So Ryan, looking back to the choices you made, would you say in terms of this scenario, did you choose the most empathetic ones?
I definitely did. We broke them up. We never put them together. We wanted to hear both part of the perspectives, making sure they were both okay, understanding the entire thing, understanding the whole scenario based on what they said. So yes, breaking them up apart, realizing what they did, knowing what they did individually, from both parts, breaking them up. It's a great way to do things.
Yeah, especially bringing up how the female police officer would protect them, and I feel like those are the choices we made, because the question is asking the choices you made. Would you do it again? And yeah, 100%.
Now Dominic, do you think the officers in the scenario acted in trauma informed?
I would say personally, the male police officer, I'm not trying to target him, but the male police officer, he was just straightforward. He was like, what's going on? He didn't sympathize with the girl, especially because she was the one being harmed. And I just liked how the female police officer approached her as a friend and not as a police officer. But yeah. Ryan, would you give me one recommendation on what you would do in the future? Let's just say you get the same case. What would you do different, and what would you do the same?
Something I would do different is I would knock on the door, make sure everything's okay, talk to him, invite myself in. How the police officer invited himself in was very professional. Now, the way he dealt with the situation with her, I don't think is very appropriate regarding the fact that he never asked if he was okay or not. I would make sure if she's okay, if she's on medication, I would figure that out myself. I wouldn't want to hear that from him. I'd want to hear that from her specifically. I wanted to make her feel more comfortable with the situation, and yeah.
Okay, that's great.
I hope you had a great evening.
Yep. And thank you for listening.